Derek, welcome to the line. So thank you for stepping up to the line here today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. So I'm here with Derek Willen. Is that how you say your last name?
Derek Willen, yes.
Derek Willen of IDEON Gear. We're here in San Antonio, Texas. Beautiful town. The home of the Alamo, which I got to see today. Pretty awesome. So sitting down here wanting to have a real and honest conversation with you about what it is that you guys do at IDEON and what it's all about. So we're going to talk about that here today. But so you guys, and I want to be careful because I don't want to get into that yet. That's our overall story. But tell me a little bit about your story and how you became. What's the best way to describe, just in a sentence or so, what IDEON is before we delve into the whole story, so that then I can ask you how you got there.
So IDEON it's a whole collection of things, but it started when my nephew came to the electrical contracting company I was working for. We were going through a rebranding.
Yeah.
And I was on the leadership team, and we kept hiring these branding people to come in, and I think we were on company number 3.
Wow.
And it was just a mess. In the back of my mind, I knew that my nephew could solve our problem, but it feels a little weird to be like, we should really just get in touch with my nephew.
Yeah.
But knowing his gifts, and that was kind of the first time that I had ever worked with him on a project like that, it was actually really cool because we ended up creating a whole bunch of swag for the new logo as kind of a launch, soft launch, to get a feel of how it was going to work with the rest of the team.
Okay.
While we were doing it, we were going through some local vendors having it done, and we realized that there's a lot of challenges in placement and sizing and colors and no colors, and it just took so much energy to get these garments right, because this was not just for the garments. This was literally for the rebrand, the soft launch, right? Or is the rest of the company going to buy into this? So we took all these clothes that my wife and I had picked up at Nordstrom Rack and all over the place, and we got these one-offs made. As we were doing it, we were like, this is really cool, because we could feel the energy in the rest of the crew as this process took place.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where we didn't actually have any idea that we were going to end up doing this.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the start of it, I guess.
So your sign here says Workforce Outfitter. So basically you provide branded garments to companies.
Correct.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about what it is, because it's a very unique idea that you have. And I think it's genius, actually. I absolutely love it. It's one of the reasons that we're sitting down having this conversation with you. But it's a garment type, branding type company to outfit workforce. And you guys said, which this is also something that just resonates with me, what industry is it that you're going after to serve?
This is all the blue collar workers.
Okay. So how did you end up, you talked about your nephew, and you were on a leadership team in this electrical company. So where did you start in the industry? You graduated high school and you're like, I want to become an electrician, or?
That gets even weirder. I actually was graduating high school. I had the opportunity to take a full ride scholarship to be an electrical engineer. Turned it down because I wanted to go out into the world and work with my hands.
Yeah.
I had worked with AutoCAD and drafting, and my brother's a civil engineer, so I had owned his own company. I did civil engineering and drafting for them. And I just couldn't stand sitting behind a desk. So I was like, I'm going to go work with my hands. Had an opportunity to join the apprenticeship and became an electrician.
Wow.
So
do you still do electrical work, or?
I still do.
Really?
Yeah.
All
no.
right.
Matter of fact, in about a week, I'll be on a job site in Fort Eustis, Virginia.
Wow.
Doing a project for the Special Forces. So
that's pretty cool.
We still get around, still put our hands on an EMT bender.
You kind of went all out. You didn't just start this business. You have a couple of businesses that you're dabbling in.
We got a couple of them. We still the part where we went all out is when you can, I mean, people do get excited about electrical work. It takes a lot, but turning lights on and plugging things in. But there are times that they do, but it's nothing like when you see somebody, when you get the gear right.
Yeah.
Whether it be the workers, when you get it right, and they're, I can tell you my boys, when they are wearing the pants that we sell, that are purpose-built pants for the workforce. When you get it right, and these guys love their gear,
yeah,
there's something fulfilling about that. And so when you can help the companies achieve that by getting their own brands on this stuff, I don't know. It's a lot more fulfilling than putting pipe together. Although a nice pipe rack.
I was literally going to
day,
correct you, being someone that has installed a pipe rack, and it's taken an exorbitant amount of my life doing that. When it's all done and you stand back and look at it,
you take pictures of it.
But you and I are probably some of the few that would appreciate that.
I was going to say it's a pretty select group that can actually appreciate what that looks like. The gear, on the other hand, it resonates with a much larger audience.
Well, let's kind of get into that. And before I do, let me just ask you this question: what is a piece of gear or a tool that you just can't live without?
That would probably be my midweight wool long sleeve.
So what is? Are you gonna gotta be more context? Is that a shirt?
It's a shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a.
So you were talking about EMT conduit, and I'm right there with you. And now you're talking about garments, and it's like midweight wool. Yeah. So IDEON gear. Let's talk about that and tell me. I walked up to your table here and was talking with your partner about what it is that you guys do, and tell me about that, because I think that this is genius. I think that you're the things that you're promoting, and you talk about how people want to wear this stuff, but there's so much more to what you guys are doing than just selling gear. So talk about that to me.
So the whole process is pretty cool because it starts with how we partner up with different manufacturers and distributors to get our hands on the coolest stuff that we can. And that's the technical workwear. That's from the PPE that you see behind me, all the way to the swag that you hand out for Christmas. And what we've seen is if we can get our hands on the coolest stuff, that's a good basis to start with, right? Now we got the coolest garments to actually decorate.
Right.
They're functional and they look good. From there, we take it to our designers. We actually have 2 in-house designers that take the process of the graphics, right? Okay. So everybody's got a logo, everybody's got something, but not all logos transfer to the garment properly. There's a process. I'm not the graphics guy. I can't do this, but I've witnessed it so many times that we give it to our graphics team. They can clean these logos up. They can change them, tweak them. They're not making them different. They're adapting them to the garments, whether that be hats, shirts, hoodies. And then they take that, and then we get to apply it, and that's where the magic happens.
So what is the magic? Talk to me about that.
The magic is when you get it right. You hear people talk about feng shui. You hear people talk about the feel and the vibe and how it looks and the balance of things. And that's what we see when people stop by the booth. They talk, man, this is just really well put together. Well, it's not just one piece that's in the right place. It's the whole that makes it what feels like it's well put together, because it is.
So what is the different types of gear that you got? So you guys basically, you source the gear, and then you're branding it with your clients' brands, correct?
That's correct.
So what does that process look like? So say I want to do that. How do I start that process with you?
So you'll get in touch with the front office, and you'll let them know what you're looking for, what you're trying to accomplish, whether it be safety. Let's just pick one, right?
Yeah.
So you want some PPE for the guys. You know they're going to be working in hot weather. So, we did a job in Hawaii. It's 86 and 80% humidity 90% of the time, right?
Right.
So we were getting ready to go there. We're working on the flight line. I need level 3 high vis. They find me a shirt that's a hot weather shirt. It's level 3 high vis. It's a hoodie, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to wear this every day. Like, I'm probably going to need a tank top, right? I put this thing on the first day I was there, and I wore it nearly every day. And when we showed up, we looked so professional that a company of 5, the company that we were working for is nationwide, and the safety lady thought that we were the same size company as them. So looking professional is amazing. And then when you feel good and you're comfortable, I don't know. It's really cool when you can get it right.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I know as we've been a part of building different brands and companies, when a workforce can experience that brand, not just on high quality stuff in the look and all of that, but also the feel, like the type of material that you're giving your people, and also the way that it's presented, that makes them want to wear it. One of my favorite things is if we're putting out gear that is good enough that people want to wear it outside of work, I feel like we've really picked the right piece of gear. But you're saying that's part of what you guys do to help these companies.
100%. When I see my boy,
and
we're flying to Virginia to go to a job, and he's wearing his work pants, for the flight, you got the workwear right. Like those pants are that comfortable. That makes sense.
So talk to me about your process with your online store specifically for the companies, because I think this is genius. Because I've experienced needing to buy different gear for people, and you have a barrage of employees, and I have shirts from 18 years ago, more than I'll ever be able to give away. We've actually even started using them for rags. Never been worn, but I had to buy so many of a certain size. You guys have come up with a solution for that, haven't you?
Yes, and everybody knows the closets that are full of stuff. They're full of, some of it's outdated in style. I actually got some of them handed to me once, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this polo? I mean, it doesn't match anything that I would ever, it doesn't match anything in my closet.
Yeah.
Then you also have the closets that are full of the wrong sizes. Whether it be the employee's closet or your closet at the shop, right?
Right.
Both closets are still just housing money. So what we've taken is we take the sizing out of the equation by building it into an online store.
Okay.
So now the employee is the one who selects the size.
Yeah.
So now all the awkward Excel spreadsheets of all the company's sizes, that's out the window. The employee gets to select it, and it can either be delivered to the business or it can be delivered to the individual's house. So all the way through, the manager of the apparel program gets to determine, what level of service they want.
So, and talk about that a little bit. So you talk about the online store. Is that IDEON, or do you guys brand it for that team, that company?
We brand it for the company.
Okay.
So it looks like a company store. It has all of their branding, and we're big on that because just like our booth, we want it to feel like they're part of that. The employee feels part of it. That's that company's store.
Yeah. So they then, the employees get like a credit or something like that.
Yeah.
And they can go online. And I was talking with is Darren? Darren. I was talking with Darren, and he was talking to me about how you guys have found that it gets such a energy from your teams, from the teams of these companies, going on there and doing that they'll find people actually going above whatever the company has credited them, and they can go in and pick different things of what they want. And you guys have seen like people buy 20 or 30% more of company gear than what they're even being paid to buy.
It blew my mind when I actually saw it happen. But when the store is put together in the right way, and we usually put a couple of products on there that are a little bit more premium, some hoodies or some coats that you wouldn't normally get, and their credit system won't always quite get them there getting the other stuff that they need. But we've found that it's literally an investment in the other company, right?
Right.
Like your employees are actually making an investment in your company by buying gear that has your logo on it.
That's
genius. But like you said, the energy that's created by putting this together, honestly just it's the buzz that makes it happen, and they're excited to be part of the entire program.
Darren was telling me like some companies might not be large enough to have like a constant online store, but you guys will do like drops, like you're having a company picnic or something like that, and you want to give people shirts, you can do a drop and be like, here's your gear.
Yeah. We actually do that for most of them.
Really?
Keeping a continuous store open, the quantities just aren't quite there to keep the prices down. So what we do is we run it's just like the online presence that you see with the merch drop.
Right.
We think that's a genius model because
Yeah.
it puts the buzz in the air that it gives a sense of urgency because you got 2 weeks that the store is open typically.
Right.
So it gets the energy and everybody's excited about it. The store closes, and then about 3 months later, you get all your, or not 3 months, 3 weeks later, you get all your stuff. So it's actually pretty quick. After the store closes, we get to gather up all the raw garments, decorate them, and then ship them out.
Wow.
So yeah, 3 week turnaround is pretty good for just even bulk orders.
Right.
I mean, we found it's well within the industry. So that makes it where you get about a little over a month
Okay.
of excitement within the company, and then they get all their merch. So,
And so, what demographic, what geographic area are you servicing with your services?
we serve the entire U.S.
Okay.
So we've shipped all over from our shop there in Vancouver.
Okay.
We've shipped to Texas, shipped to Maryland, shipped to Minneapolis, the Upper Peninsula.
I think it's really fascinating what you guys are doing, and the way that you're honing in, even efficiency. You're cutting down waste, all that stuff. You're actually inviting employees into the process that they're able to participate in building the brand. I think that it's good for morale. It's good for, communicating culture, brand, vision, all of that stuff. So that's pretty exciting to me. So if I'm a company, as we're coming to a close here, if I'm a company and I want to do this stuff, where do I go to find IDEON gear?
You can go to IDEONgear.com.
Okay.
And from there, there's links and phone numbers and ways to get in touch with people to start the process. We're almost ready to have our own online catalog.
Okay.
So at that point, the tried and true, the PPE, the swag, that stuff will be on there, so that we're working on it. All this technology stuff takes a little bit longer to actually make it right.
It's because it's always changing. It's crazy.
But we're gonna work towards having our own online store so
Okay.
that people can start the process a little bit easier. But as of right now, get in touch with the front office. It doesn't take much. They're responsive, and they'll start the process of figuring out what are we getting with this. What do you want to accomplish with this, and how do we help you get that quote put together, whether it be for a bulk order or whether it be all the way to having an online store that's delivered to your employee's house or address.
That's pretty cool. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's a genius idea. I think it's a great way for companies to not have boxes of shirts that don't fit, and a great way to engage your employees to be building your brand with you instead of apart from you. So, and I've seen the stuff that you guys are doing. I mean, listen, Stutson, high quality brand. I can see some of the other clothes. I've seen the hats that you guys have, high quality brands that you guys are working with.
Yeah, we work with all the big manufacturers, and then in the middle of COVID, when we couldn't get stuff, we started having our own stuff built, which was an adventure of its own, but it gave us a lot more control over the fit and finish.
Yeah.
And it was a fun journey. We've actually found that, and it's rewarding when the customers actually like your stuff. They're
Absolutely.
like, hey, this is amazing. And then they ask, well, how come I can't find this anywhere else? Because it's mine.
Yeah. So there you have it, IDEONgear.com, and they are a workforce outfitter. They're wanting to promote your brand, build your company, really bring your employees and your people into it with you. So I would encourage you to check it out. Derek, thank you for stepping up to the line and having a real and honest conversation with me. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
All right.